8 Mix says, I'm scared for my son. You know, I understand. I understand where you're coming from. Greta Thunberg. Thunberg? You remember her? She was like a teenage activist who, just had a mic drop moment, put world leaders in their place when during one of the climate conferences, just tore an ever-loving strip off those folks, and did so wonderfully and passionately and very intelligently and wisely. She's well beyond her years. I think she's only like maybe 20 or something now, maybe even younger. Anyhow, she was on a boat in the Mediterranean. Her boat was part of a convoy that was taking an armada, a fleet taking aid to Gaza, and they were stopped. The IDF stopped them, and she and all the other passengers and the crew of that ship were arrested, and she was deported. They sent her back to France. They sent her to France, to Paris, and of course, at a press conference I think it was in the Oval Office, somebody asked Donald Trump what he thought about her and about this whole thing. I think the press understand that he's going to say something. He's going to say something goofy, and so they go for it. Anyway, he said she's a young, angry person. She's certainly different. Anger management. I think she has to go to an anger management class. That's my primary recommendation for her. Of course, the media, being what the media is like, I don't know if anybody else had one of these friends growing up, but that person that wanted to see people fight, and so they would go, did you hear what Ed said about you? No. Ed, did you hear what Bob said about you? No. He said that? Yeah, he said that. Well, you tell him I said this. And then sometimes I'm getting the feeling that that's the press's job right now, that they're just trying to generate stupid drama. Said my piece. They go to Greta. They go to Miss Thunberg and they say, this is what Trump says. What do you think about what Trump says about you? And what she responded, she says, I think the world needs more young, angry women, to be honest. I think the world needs more young, angry women, to be honest. And I think she's absolutely right. I do. I think she's absolutely right. And I think there's a biblical foundation for this. Despite the fact that the church has failed for like centuries to be welcoming or to be empowering of women, to let women share their gifts, share the gifts that God gave them, despite the fact that we have failed miserably on that. And we're getting better to some extent, some of us. But I think we need more young, angry women. To be willing to stand up and to fight. To be willing to stand up and to show us the way. Because sometimes us old, tired men, if I could just use an opposite, maybe an opposite approach, we forget what we're supposed to be about. And we don't take our responsibilities as seriously as we should. And so maybe we need those young, angry women to remind us. Maybe we need those young, angry people to remind us why it is we seek out authority and why it is we seek out status and leadership, why it is we seek out power. Because we're not supposed to be doing it for us. We're supposed to be doing it for people like her, for the next generations to come. We're supposed to be doing the work that we do in this world, even though we may never see the reward of that work. I'm supposed to be planting trees in whose shade I will never sit, in whose shade I will never enjoy, in whose fruit I will never eat. I'm not supposed to be working for myself. I'm supposed to be working for the future. And we do a pretty good job of forgetting that. And so, yeah, I think we need more young, angry women. I think we need more young, angry men. So long as that anger is tempered, so long as that anger is being used for something productive, so long as that anger doesn't get in the way and become their identity, we need more young, angry people. And so, 8 Mick, when you talk about your son and the things that you've shared about your son, I think your son is going to be a wonderful future leader because his mom's teaching him to be strong. He's got such a great example in you. He has such a great example of someone who is strong and who is smart and powerful. Someone who doesn't seem to take a whole lot of crap. And for what it's worth, my daughter Maya, I am incredibly proud of my daughter Maya. I'm incredibly proud of my daughter Nyla. Both of them. They're young and strong. And they don't take crap. And Nyla, the older she gets, the stronger I'm seeing her become. The more self-sure she's becoming. And I think she's learning that from her sister. It'd be lovely if I could say I had something to do with Maya's development. And I think I did, but you don't want to be boastful of somebody else's accomplishments. But she is a very strong woman. A very strong young woman. No. Anger management? No. We just need that anger to be directed and tempered and constructive. Again, I said that there's a biblical part of this. You think about people like Deborah in the Bible, right? Deborah was a judge. God told her to go do something, she'd go do it. God told her to go say something, she'd say it. In this one instance in the book of Judges, God comes to her and says, "Hey, I need you to fight the Egyptians. So go tell the generals this is what they're going to do." And so she goes and she tells the generals this is what God said to do. And the generals say, "Well, geez, I'm not fighting Egypt." And she says, "Well, God tells you to." And I'm not. I can't fight Egypt. I'm only going to go if you go. And she says, "Fine, I'll go." And so she leads the battle, right? Like she does the work. She takes care of things. She gives the troops their motivation and their sense that they can achieve this. Later on, it's a woman who finally slays the king, the enemy king. But we see women throughout the Bible who, in their power, not just a matter of being young and angry, but in their power as women, in audaciously stepping up and taking over with fear, but still courageously stepping in and doing what needs to be done. The world needs more young, angry women. The world needs more people like Miss Thunberg. The world needs more people like my daughters. The world needs more people like 8 Mick. And my guess would be, and the son that she's raising. The world needs more people like you. I'm angry, I'm angry, I'm angry, I'm angry, I'm angry, I'm angry, I'm angry. I'm going to the march, I'm going to the protest. Peacefully. But I'm going to be there. I'm going to be side by side with my brothers and sisters. I'm going to be side by side with my neighbors. We don't need more comfortable young people. We don't need more complacent young people. We don't need more obedient young people. We need more impassioned, visionary, prophetic, angry young people. Amen.